3, 2, 1. Talk to me.
Okay. Morning, everyone. Thank you. I'm using a few seconds to wait for my slides. Okay, but I'll just go ahead. So I have 18 minutes to have a conversation with you around money. And I first of all want to assure you that these 18 minutes are not going to change your life, because it took you more than 18 years to get to where you are financially. I cannot do that in 18 minutes. But I'm going to attempt to give you a couple of very actionable points that if you work on, there's a high chance it could commence the transformation and then probably spread you across another 2 years. All right? Okay. So while the media team is waiting, it's like there's a media team, like conglomerate everywhere that ensures that slides don't come up on time. It's quite important. Okay, great. So can we play a game, everyone? Can we play a game? So I want us to play a game. Can we pull up our 7 fingers? 7 fingers, 7 fingers. Are we good? So it's quite simple. The game is called Put a Finger Down. So I'm going to give you a statistic, and I'm going to have you put your finger down if you are in that age bracket. Are we good? Okay, next slide, please. Now, 69% of Gen Zs, age 18 to 24, and millennials live paycheck to paycheck. So in your version, it could be allowance to allowance. So if you live allowance to allowance, put a finger down. Good. Next. Can we move way faster? Only 24% of millennials demonstrate basic financial literacy. What does basic financial literacy look like? You know exactly how to manage money. You know how to invest. You have stuff going around for you. If you don't, you are in the remaining probably 76%. Put your hand down. Good. Next. Next. Great. Now, in some parts of Africa, 70% of youth have no emergency savings at all. If you do not have any emergency savings, put your hand down. Not the one that you saved and then it saved you back. You save your savings, then your savings saved you. And then they ask you what you do in the raining days. You say you enter without umbrella. So put your hands down if that's you. Next, quickly. In Nigeria, consumer loans and digital loan apps have risen by over 300% among youth between 2021 and 2023. So if you're here and a phone call comes to you and you can't pick because you're afraid it's palm pay or another kind of pay, put your finger down. Quickly. The average age at which most people buy their first property is now over 36. And many never build assets until late in life. If you don't have an asset by now in your name, put your hand down. Some of you enter the ground. Okay, next quickly. The average, nearly 70% of Gen Zs say money is their number one source of stress. If that's your philosophy, money is your number one, number two, number three, number four, number 5, and 6 source of stress. Put your hand down. So how many of you have any fingers up? Let me see your hands. I think I'm out. Next. Do we have anyone? Do we have any? Next slide. Okay, but okay, great. Now, Gen Zs in Nigeria, I think I find this statistic extremely insightful, spent only 0.002% of their transactions on investments. If you have not made an investment before in your life, put a finger down also. So we are like, sir, you should have just told me. No finger is staying up. All right, I think, next slide, please. Now, why these statistics are extremely important? So let me see, how many of you have 3 fingers up? 5 fingers up? How many of you have no fingers up? Just lift your hands to... Okay. Now, I have a quick conversation with you guys. It's about 13 minutes. And the entire conversation I have with you is around the 3 M's of money. That is how to make money, how to manage money, and then how to eventually multiply money. So let's put up to the next slide. Now, when it comes to making money, there are a lot of conversations around this that we could have, But one of the first things I want you to know when it comes to making money is there are 3 W's when it comes to making money. Number 1 is who you are, which is speaking about your mindset. Number 2 is what you do, which is speaking about your skill set. Number 3 is who you do it for, which is speaking about the set of people that you have around your life. I'm anticipating you move to the next slide. Okay, great. Back to what I was saying, yeah. Who you do it for. Now, why is this important? Because when we have conversations around who you are, many times when I go to sessions, one of the questions that I get asked the most, which I do not answer again, is, sir, because I was privileged to hit my first million at 18, so I started business extremely early back then in the university. I used to do a lot of work, and people ask me, what motivated you to start business? I know you expect some grandiose answer. My simple answer is poverty. I was extremely broke, and I needed to find money to eat. In finding money to eat, I found more money than money to eat, and I began to pull through. But one of the things I found out is one of the questions that I asked most is, what did you do to make your first million? And I'm always hesitant to answer that question because this is how people think. And let me throw it back to you. Being a university community, how many of you have, at some point in your life, thought that the course you are doing, the program you are doing is the hardest? You think that the course or the program you are doing is the hardest in the university. Let me see your hands. All right? But then at some point in time, you have a conversation with another friend, and the friend tells you what he or she is doing, then you suspend pity for yourself. And you begin to extend pity to them. Because you realize that, look, hard is everywhere. It's just a different kind of hard in the other places. And so what people do many times is they immediately assume that the channel of wealth of a successful person is the only reason why they are successful. And many times what you don't realize is that it's not essentially about what they do. It's essentially about who is doing what they are doing. Because in every field, there are successful people as well as there are what? The failures. So the field in and of itself is not the only thing, all right? And so what I tell people is, look, who is behind the steering wheel is as important as how good the car is. So many of us are jumping from business to business. You're in this today, you're in that tomorrow, you're in this next tomorrow. And the problem with that is sometimes the reason why you're failing in all the businesses is not because of the business. It's because of you. And the problem is if you don't fix you, you will jump everywhere and become what I call a universal failure. And so for many of you, the problem is not the business you're doing. The problem is the person you are engaging the business. The next W when it comes to making money is what kind of business you're doing. I know we like to lie to people and encourage them that you can be rich through doing anything. Yeah, but also, no, it's not exactly that way. Because many of us have what we call good ideas. And a good idea is not a business idea. A good idea becomes a business idea once there are people willing, able to pay for that idea. Then it becomes a business idea. So many times, they give you bad advice. When you want to start your business, they tell you, what are you most passionate about? But the problem is that you are passionate about something doesn't necessarily mean the market is passionate about it. And when you go and create a business out of your passion, out of what the market is passionate about, you will create it and you will like it, but nobody will pay for it. That's how come your business is 4 years and it's only you and your family members that have patronized you. Because you follow your passion in isolation. All right? And now the third thing is who you do it for. How many of you have met people who they are extremely not as good as you in terms of skill level? So maybe you're a graphic designer, you design really top-notch graphics, but then there's this guy, new kid on the block, he just knows how to put 2 rectangles and 1 triangle together. And guess what? The guy's able to charge more than you. How many of you have been in scenarios like that? All right? And you're upset. Great. Because it's not just enough to be great at what you do. Who you do it for also matters. All right? The same thing that you do today that you paid $250K for, whatever you pay for, you could do it somewhere else and be paid $250 million for. And so it all boils down to the volume and the value of your network. Who exactly are you doing things for? And one of the most important advices that I'll give you as young people is a concept that I call the mobility of life. You see, the true thing about many people is many people only try to network upwards, all right? So somebody is great, you try to network. But the problem with that is many times the people who will be great were once at your reach. They just didn't look like it. And so right now, sitting beside you is somebody that doesn't look like you'll make it in life. Or somebody that doesn't look like she'll make it in life. And so you see no need to network. But then you leave the organization, and before you know it, what happens? The guy's up there, and now you're trying to send a text message. You know, I get things like this often time. All right? Every time there's a big event, I go to speak somewhere, and then an old friend shows up. Say, I said I should check up on you. It's a lie. You're checking up on the event. Because I look like I'm making it now. All right? So the question becomes, are you that kind of person who only networks with successful people? Or you are someone who is generally a good person, and you network all around, and so when people get into positions of success, automatically you have higher network, and then you do work for them, you can be paid higher. Does that make sense? Great. Let's put up to the next slide. Now, it's not really about how much money you make. Because a lot of people make money, but it's not about how much money you make. It's really about how much money you don't lose. And I tell people, a lot of people are rich in arrears. Yeah. They are rich in, you're not broke, you are just rich in what? Arrears. And one of the ways to check this is, if you go through your bank statements, you would realize that you are not who you think you are. You go through your bank statements, and then suddenly, there's a confidence that comes up. You may not have 100 million moving through my account every week. No, now, they should be greeting me differently, right? But the problem with many people is, they think in the equation of financial success, the most important thing is making money. Making money is a simple step, but the next and most important step is your ability to manage money. Now, let me tell you something. You see, going beyond the philosophy of managing money, one of the things you need to realize is, when you are a person who never gets to the point where things are enough, or let me rephrase that like this. You see, there's a problem when you never, ever have money, all right? So many of us live, either we are paying off debts. When the money comes in, we used to pay off a debt that we're owing, something like that. The real problem with that is not even about the economics about it. What happens is you are constantly training your mind to always grow to a point where your expenditure will always be above your income. And the funny part is, your mind is going to adapt to that training, and so when your income drastically rises, what you will find is that your mind will find unimportant expenses to balance and ensure that scale is intact. So many of us think the solution to our problem is more money, but that's not always true. Many times, the solution to our problem is not more money, or it's not a better job. Perhaps it's a better way of managing money. All right? And let's move to the next slide. The moment you cover those two grounds, we hit the next place, which is multiplying money. I'm going to flash a couple of people across the screen, and I want to see how many of them you know. Are we ready? Can we do this? Great. Next slide, please. How many of us know Jim Simons? If you know him, let's see your hands up. Nobody? Great. Next slide. Peter Lynch. Absolutely nobody. Next slide. George Soros. Aha, this guy did a couple of things on Wall Street. Great. Now, next slide. Stanley. How many of us know Stanley? Nobody. Next slide. Joel Greenblatt. You know him? Okay. Now, next slide. Warren Buffett. How many of you know Warren Buffett? Now, what do you know Warren Buffett at? For many of us, we know Warren Buffett as what? The greatest investor of all time, right? But that's not true. Go to the next slide. I have an average return on investment for at least a period of time for these people. Out of all these people, Warren Buffett actually returns not the best return on investments. He's not. He's not the guy that can get you the maximum. But do you know Warren Buffett's simple secret? He started at age 11. And so compound interest was in his favor. That's simply Warren Buffett's secret. He's not the best investor. He's just the investor that started earlier than the others. He returns 20%. This guy returns 30, 29, 40, 30, and at some period of time, he was returning as high as 66% without the fees. So the question then becomes, when it comes to multiplying my money, the greatest advantage that you have as a young person is your capacity to position yourself in the advantage of time. And it starts by starting early. So many of us, the philosophy we have is, I don't want to start because it's too small. But it's starting that will ensure it doesn't remain small. And so, like Buffett, you want to be asking yourself, is there something I could start early? Because the way life works many times is life never gives us all we need for today alone. The resources for tomorrow are always hidden in the resources of today. It's either we do not have the capacity to see it or we don't have the discipline to grow it. And so, like I tell people, many times the forests of tomorrow are hidden in the seeds of today. People are either just blind to it or they are too indisciplined to plant the seeds, and then they walk in tomorrow looking for the forest when they didn't plant the seeds today. If everything that comes into your hands leaves your hands, you are doing a practice for poverty in the future. All right? So I want to round off with this. Next slide, please. You have a choice. It's either you keep saying, one day I will start, or you can make it today. That is day one. The choice is yours. Thank you.